You know that
guy? Greetings, fellow motorcycle enthusiasts. Jed's here, and today we're going to go over the review. Well, more like I'm just showing you my customized Yamaha FJ-09. Mine's pretty customized. This is a 2016, and believe it or not, this is a Blurple. It's the Blurple. Silver and blue. You saw the video before, link to that below. And, you know, you've seen this bike, I've ridden this bike, but it is completely different. And I really built this bike for me. I wanted to kind of go share some of the things I've done to it, go for a quick ride, and talk about how I got this bike set up for me and my touring and the amount of miles I do every year. So it is a 2016 Yamaha FJ-09. You really can't tell. I've marketed this bike as the Yamaha Fazer 900 Jets Edition. This bike was silver. I have done a custom paint job. This is my paint job. It's my first time ever doing candy paint. Came out pretty good. I really wanted a red FJ-09 really, really bad, but I didn't want to spend $7,000, so I found one for $2,000 less because no one likes Blurple. So I changed the Blurple to the red with the gold rims. You know, the Jeds logo is all over the place on this thing. It says Jeds Edition. That's because this bike has really been kind of set up for me. A lot of people will probably enjoy riding it, but these are the modifications I did to my FJ-09 so that it became my Fazer 900. And the reason I chose the name Fazer 900, well, is because I absolutely loved my Fazer 1000S, which is a Yamaha FZ-1. And it reminds me so much of that FZ-1 that I decided to give it its namesake. Call me weird, call me whatever. So, as you can see, I've got the luggage, the Givi luggage, quick disconnect. This thing's awesome, so if you want to go and rip up the twisties wherever you go, the bags come off, the rack comes off, and you can just rip this bike really, really, really well. And it has a great, great engine. That is the 850cc or the triple crossplane CP3 Yamaha FJ-09 engine. So it's pretty sweet. Made it with a Yoshimura muffler and a Declavic exhaust 3-to-1 and a modified airbox with a V-cycle nut ECU flash. So this puppy's, you know, pushing that 117, 118 wheel horsepower range. For how light this bike is, it is remarkably quick. And that's half the fun of the bike. This model has the ABS traction control. That's what I really wanted. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little ride on this. We're going to talk about my bike, talk about what I like about it, talk about some more of the modifications, and let's go for a spin. Power up the bike. I've got the inverted LCD inversion kit. I had to do this custom. That was an interesting project. I'll tell you, you have to take the whole gauge cluster apart. You have to slowly remove the polarizing layers and then install a new polarizing layer. I went with two different colors so that it breaks up the look. I like it. It reads really easy in the night, in the sunlight, and at night it looks just wicked cool. All right, and I also added this awesome snap and go phone charger so that it acts as my GPS and it charges the phone. This is a fast rate, high speed charger. I know Fortnite just did a video about how these things suck. This thing actually is great. I can have the GPS on the whole time. The battery never dies on my phone, and I can see perfectly fine. And it works really good at night too. It flips right into night mode with Google Maps. Works great. So we're just going to do a beer run. So that's where I have my GPS set to. And we're just going to go out of the Jets complex. So there's a considerable increase in intake noise with the airbox modification. So I really do recommend, if you were going to get this bike, that you do the airbox modification and the exhaust. You just want to, it really just brings out the extra little oomph that this bike can have. It's actually quite a remarkable little machine. Traction control there, not letting me wheelie. And that's the one thing I really wanted with the FJ-09. I was looking at a couple FZ-09s for pretty inexpensive at the time when I was looking for this bike. And but the FZ-09s of that vintage did not have ABS or traction control, and I really wanted to have that, especially coming off the Bonneville. I really just feel comfortable having those options. I ride in the rain, I ride in cold, I see ice, I see sand. So it was really important for me to have all those options. So enough about my ranting about how I love this motorcycle, and I really do. Let's talk about some of the other modifications I've done. Clearly on here you see this button configuration. You're like, what is this? Well, this guy right here is your MCC Cruise, or MC Cruise electronic cruise control. It is a electronic system. It's not a clip. It's not a little thing that you push down onto the brake lever. It's a fully automated electronic cruise control. ECU to kind of keep itself on track, and which is fine. It integrates pretty easily. The kit was sold as plug and play, and I will going to say this: it is definitely not a plug and play system. This thing requires a lot of main harness adjustment. A plug and play system is when you can plug it in, and then if you don't like it, you can unplug it and plug in your stock system. Right now, this bike would not run if you unplug the MC Cruise. So it will run if you unplug the ECU. They did make that redundancy, but if you ever wanted to return this bike to a fully stock setup, or you wanted to convert it, or you wanted to restore it to a stock setting, that's not going to be really possible unless you go and re-hack up, and not even hack up, but you have to re-pin out all your terminals and such, which is kind of ridiculous, honestly. For the amount of money I spent on it, it should be plug and play. It's sold as plug and play. It's not plug and play, but it is a damn good cruise control. Never had an issue with it. I'm super glad that I bought it, even with the savings of buying the Blurple compared to buying a Red. I still was made out pretty well in the long run by just buying this cruise control and adapting it to myself. So there's that. Really cool add-on for the bike. Sorry, my visor's just fogging up like something fierce today. I don't have a pin lock on the Shoei, and I'm wearing my Shoei because it's the only helmet that I have that has good enough wind protection that I can actually record and vlog with, and you can hear me and it doesn't sound like, you know, your guys are hanging out in a wind tunnel. So these bike stock do not come with heated grips. They do not come with cruise control. I installed heated grips. I actually had to, these are just aftermarket cheapo grips. I think they're, I want to say they're Parts Master or Bike Master, you know, the generic Bike Master parts. I think they were like $40, I believe, for the grips. And basically you just have to series them in correctly so that your bike thinks they're stock grips, and then the stock software picks it up, and the ECU will heat up the grips just fine. They, compared to my Bonneville's heated grips, which I got to tell you are pretty damn good, the FJ-09s, these grips they're okay. I've had worse grips, but not much worse. Right here is Federal US 7 North and South. This is what we consider the suck in central Vermont. We don't really have an interstate system on this side of the state, so we use Route 7 as our main north-south road that goes from Bennington to Burlington. Listen to that howl. Gosh, and that three-cylinder, man, it's just a gem. What a beautiful sounding machine. So at cruise, you know, you just set the cruise control and you put your feet up, and this is how you tour in style, man. Just nice and comfortable, relaxed, got nothing to worry about. Bike runs great. I gotta tell you, if you're gonna get an FJ-09 and you're specifically gonna tour with it, I highly recommend getting the removable Kiwi luggage racks. You can fit a dead minister in pieces with all these cases. They're just great to have. They're waterproof. I've never had any issues. That top case has probably got, good Lord, probably almost 200,000 miles on it. They will fade a little bit from the UV damage, but that's fine. They still work. It still locks. You just have to keep an eye on the keys. The keys are the fragile part of any of the Kiwi equipment that I've noticed, so just keep an eye on that. But that instant instant release just trims the bike down. It looks like a Street Fighter. You can take all the plastic, extra additional plastics off, and you can actually have a really competent street bike that is pretty dang quick. Now, I'm not going to track day with this. I'm not going to go do aggressive sport riding with it. I do some sport touring riding with it. So it's a great bike for that. It's really meant for distance riding. And if you're going to do it, just spend the extra like $1,500 if you can, if it's in your budget. Find a motorcycle that's a little cheaper, and then go through it and add some of these extra goodies. You know, I went forward and I did the LED inversion just because I rode the FJ-09 and the Tenere. They just look like Texas Instrument calculators to me. So I just did not enjoy, didn't enjoy looking at the screen. Now I actually really enjoy looking at the screen just because I added some flair that's, you know, uniquely mine. And, you know, that's why I kind of made it the Jeds edition. This is kind of a machine that I can go and ride tens of thousands of miles on in a year, and it'll get me through the 6-month riding season that we got, and it just runs, and I could point this thing to California and have no worries in my mind that this thing would be okay. You know, just making sure the chain is in good works and the tires are in good shape and it has oil in it, I wouldn't be too worried about it. So I'm going to wrap this one up, folks. I really appreciate you tuning in with me and following me along on this motorcycle that I've customized for myself. I think these are some great mods that if you have an FJ-09, you really should think about doing yourself, or Tracer 900. For tuning in, appreciate. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to go through some of the other bikes that I've done, the customizations that I've done on some of my other machines. I really think I've perfected my craft here. The bikes are getting, you know, better and better as I get older. Maybe it's because A, I have the knowledge to work on them correctly, and B, maybe because I have a little more funds. I'm a little better off financially than I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago when I started riding. So it's been a really fun ride. I really enjoy motorcycles. I love motorcycles. I appreciate you coming in and your passion for motorcycles as well, and appreciate your patronage coming in and checking out this channel. All right, folks. Now, I hope you have a great day out there. Keep it shiny side up, and if you like what you see, like and subscribe. I'll see you around. Best.